In this video, I want to talk about one of my so far most profitable trading strategies that I used in my live account in the last year. And I can also guarantee you it will be one of the easiest and simplest strategies that you've ever heard of. I'm talking about my Go Long Expert Advisor that I use in my live account here, and that strategy that made alone a profit of over 13,000 euro in a little bit more than 1 year. So in this video I will explain exactly what the strategy is about, how you can use it, how I trade it with my automated programs, and also how you can get these automated trading programs for free.
This video is presented by BM Trading. Learn to code your own expert advisors. Link in the description.
So let's have a look at the strategy first. And for this, I will demonstrate it in the strategy tester with historical data, testing the year 2025 in the visual mode. And we only have to wait until 9:05 in the morning for the expert advisor to place a trade. I use this strategy here currently, and I'm talking currently about the German stock market index, which is named DE40 here with my broker IC Trading. This expert advisor or this strategy will always open a position every single day at 9:05. And that's it. There is no advanced trade management, no advanced filters, no complicated stuff. That is really it. I open a position every morning at 9:05, and then I do not use a TP, I do not use a stop loss. And then in the end of this day, close before midnight, here in the German index, wait, let me show it to you here at 10:55 p.m. I close the position, and that's it. So every single day from 9:05 to 10:55 p.m. I hold a position in the German stock market index, and then you can see here on the next day it's exactly the same story. And you might be wondering, what the hell, René? Why do you use such a strategy? This is like so easy. Every child could trade this. How can this even be profitable? And let me tell you, strategies do not have to be complicated. Actually, from my experience, more complicated strategies are not really better. And to understand why this works, we have to look. We need to take a look at the stock market in general. And if we zoom out, for example, out of the DE40, here the stock market index, and have a look at the bigger picture, we can clearly see, and this is a long-term view, we can even have a look at the weekly chart. Like the first thing you will realize here is it is going up, right? And this is because, in my opinion, and this is just what the history has proven for many, many years, as always, I'm not talking about the future whatsoever, but in the past, the stock market was always going up. And there are some logical explanations for this, because economies are growing, there are factors like inflation. So there are different factors that increase the stock values over time, theoretically. And this is actually the bet that I take here. I just hope or bet that this will go on in the future. And the way I trade it, for example, you see this little red cross here in the chart. This is when I started trading this in my live account. And you can see it was going up a bit, it was going down a bit, and then it was going up a lot. And this is where or why I really made so much money, especially here in this period, and then also in the last few weeks. The stock market just went up so incredibly strong here in Germany. And this is where my strategy was really able to capitalize a lot on this. I also trade this in the US market indices, but it was more effective in the German market in the last few months, because if we have a look, for example, at the US markets, here we can see I also marked this cross here where I started trading it in my live account. But here you can see while the stock market in Germany went up like 30%, in the US markets it was more like 10 to 15%. And yeah, that's basically it. That's the easy strategy that I wanted to show you. So if you're wondering how you can use this, I said you can use it for free, and that's definitely true. Just check out the link in the video description of this video. On my webpage, you will learn how to use this strategy for free with my partner broker, and I explain everything you need to know on the website. So you will find all of these settings when you download the program, but most of these settings actually I do not even use, because I do not use the wait for new day high feature here. Then I use a risk in percent, where I always risk 100% of my account with every single trade. And I also do not use a stop loss and TP, which means that yes, I do use 100% of my account as a risk, but this will only, I will only lose 100% of my account if the index drops to 0 on one single day. And this is very unrealistic. If we have a look at the worst days in the history ever, I think the biggest loss was around 10%, if I'm not wrong. So this is like the realistic risk that I take with every trade, but it's okay for me, because in the long run I think the markets should go up more than they go down. But if this risk doesn't make sense for you, you can also of course use a stop loss and also a TP if you want. Yeah, you have all of the settings. You will find all of the settings here. Then, as I said, I trade from 9:05 up until 20:55 or 10:55 p.m. I do not use a break-even stop. I do not use a trailing stop, and that's basically it. That's the whole strategy, how I use it. And that's the last part in this video, and this will be to finish it off. I will show you a long-term backtest for the last 10 years. And yeah, we will learn how this worked in the last 10 years from like 2015 at around here. So the market in general went up 140%. I can already spoiler a little bit here. This strategy will not do the 140%, but it's still quite a nice profit. So yeah, here we can see the full backtesting result, and I know that many will say that this is not a good strategy and they would not trade this because there's this very long sideways period, and I kind of understand this. But if we have a look at the market that I traded here, we can see like where's the beginning of 2025. I don't know, somewhere here. Like the market was up a bit, but not too strong, I would say. And the problem is that if we trade CFDs, we have a little bit more costs, of course, that we have to pay compared to just looking at the index. But why is it still okay for me to trade this? For me, it's most important that I believe in the idea of a strategy, and I totally believe in the idea of increasing stock market values, and this is why I definitely trade this strategy. And we can see in a period where it really goes up, yeah, good, like we saw in the last months, I really was able to make a lot of profit. Of course, my starting point here was not the worst one, because we are up quite a bit after my starting point already. But yeah, overall, over a long period of time, we can see here, this can definitely work out, and it's one of the strategies that I put most trust in. But that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at the key figures also in the end, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Have a good time. Bye.